Ode to the Frailty of Life. We dressed the railings with wreaths and streamers of all colors. Pillows with snowflakes and Santa Clauses lined the couches. We had tiny little towns throughout the house, each decorated with sparkling fake snow and tiny little people, living their tiny little ceramic lives. We had a tree full of memories, garnished with ornaments that spanned throughout my childhood. It was gorgeous and claustrophobic. How could someone have the feeling of such entrapment in a place as lovely as this? How could you not be completely and utterly happy when surrounded by such interminable beauty? That's the thing about drugs. You can see everything, down to the most minute detail, but also nothing at all. All the pain goes away and you're left seeing the magic of the world right in front of your dazed eyes. Ecstasy. My body tingles with the shimmering feelings of life. I feel alive. Colors seem to dance around me in a tangled spiderweb of light. Unfocused, but somehow I can see so clearly the universe that expands into infinity. My skin was pale as ice. A quilt of snow upon me had turned what little I was into a frosty frame of death. I'm your worst fear. I am an addiction. That soul-thirsting lust for devilish ideas that pulls you into darkness, thrust upon the jagged rocks of the edge. Oh, to be traversing down the streets of some European city, to be walking the beaches where people walked well before America was even discovered, to be so immersed in cultures that I fall into a different dimension. I yearn for adventure. I've watched Old Faithful blow gusts of boiling water hundreds of feet into the sky in Yellowstone. I've sailed around the Greek islands and gazed upon the blue and white buildings in Santorini. I've stood at the top of the London Eye and stared out at Big Ben, Westminster Abbey, and the River Thames. I've watched fireworks on the 4th of July over the Mississippi River in New Orleans. I've been horseback riding across the beaches of Sayulita, Mexico. I've even gone whitewater rafting down the Colorado River. I've swayed on the floor between hundreds of sweaty bodies, moving to the rhythm of the music. When you can hear the music, that's one thing, but we could see it. All you gotta do was shoot up a little in your arm and let the pink spirals of sound carry you. I remember the first time I tried it, when my arm was untouched, porcelain, when a few sips of the drink were enough to get me to spill my secrets. Humans crave closure, so they have an understanding in a chaotic world. This was my chaotic world, bubbling and bursting around me like candy. I remember looking up at a cathedral. Its structure stood tall, like a fatherly figure about to give a stern talking to. I remember looking down at my arm. Indigo bruises layered the skin on the inside of my elbow. To some, it looked like an infection, a disease. To me, it was eternity. It was the night sky, and each pinprick of the needle was a flaming star. To some, these stories happen in a different world, but you have to stand back and remember that this is someone's actual story, my story.